Well, welcome back to the Discover Fort Smith podcast. I'm Josh, Public Relations Manager for the City of Fort Smith, and today we're sitting with Dennis Snow and Dr. Milam, and they're here to talk about an event maybe you guys have heard of called the Steel Horse Rally. And Dennis, I believe you're the founder of the Steel Horse Rally. So tell us a little bit about how it started, why it started, how'd you get involved? Was there something that inspired the rally?
Well, giving back to our community inspired the rally was the main thing. I came back from Atlanta back in 2005 and was just shocked. There didn't seem to be a lot of civic pride. Downtown seemed to be kind of not doing a lot of business. So we said, what can we do to help?
Yeah.
I'd been working on a motorcycle rally for a lot of years. The city fathers weren't real receptive to the idea.
And I should say the Steel Horse Rally is a motorcycle rally.
Yes, it is a motorcycle rally. Okay. It's a 501c3. We're dedicated to all who serve, and we honor.
It is the motorcycle rally.
That's true.
I like the way nice. Yeah, that's very true. But anyway, the way it finally, we got the city's ear. They understood that the potential was there because the way it was designed was not only to be a charity that gave to other charities and only local charities, it was also designed to be an engine for economic impact to help drive, and not just businesses in downtown Fort Smith, all over the area.
Yeah.
Bikers used to have a bad reputation, and I've been riding my entire adult life, and Harley Davidson's not cheap, so it kind of changed the demographic and the psychographic and the image of the motorcycle rider. So everybody was a little more receptive to it, and it became easier to have that conversation. So finally in 2014, we got the go-ahead. We had some issues with the mayor at the time, but we worked through that. We turned a negative into a positive and raised a little bit of money, and I mean a little bit of money in the beginning. But it's for the community, and most importantly, the Steel Horse Rally is driven by the community. I'm fortunate enough to be the president, and Dr. Milam's fortunate enough to be on the board of directors. But this is your city, your pride. It's your rally, and we could not do what we do without first and foremost our volunteers. We have most of them are based right here in the River Valley, but we have volunteers that come in from Denver, Colorado, just to work the rally. Memphis, Tennessee, Springfield, Missouri, Dallas, Texas. But it's the people of the River Valley that really make the rally special because the way they treat our guests. One of the most common phrases that I hear is, we had such a good time because everybody was so hospitable.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to where we live. We shine up downtown, we do some music, we do some parades, have some great events we'll talk about in a minute. But it's really a testament to Fort Smith, Arkansas, and the River Valley, and it's turned into a huge event, and it's so much more than just a motorcycle rally. If you're seeing me now, bring the kids. It's family friendly.
It really is, and I have young kids, and we come out to the rally and we have a great time because there's stuff. It's not just people on motorcycles. There's stuff to do all around.
You've got vendors from all over the country. You've got great food. We've got some people coming in with turquoise and silver jewelry from New Mexico. I mean, it really is a sight to behold, if you will. And people always ask me, what are your favorite things about the rally? And I said, well, number one, it helps our community. But my favorite picture from the rally was, seeing Mom doing her stroller walk at 7:30 a.m. on a Saturday morning and handing her infant child to a total stranger, a big burly biker, and they're all laughing and taking pictures. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. And my favorite sound from the rally is the sound of laughter over the motorcycles. It's pretty amazing to walk through downtown Fort Smith, especially Saturday afternoon, and go, kind of hard to believe this is downtown Fort Smith because the foot traffic's amazing. But no, you don't have to be a biker. Just come by and enjoy the sights and the sounds and the smells and the tastes, and I guarantee you'll make a new friend or two.
Yeah, and it's always the first weekend in May. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. What do you particularly enjoy about the rally?
I got involved in the rally very early on. One of the roles I have outside of the board is my main job is I'm with the police department. So I ended up working a lot of the rally.
And we may know each other through that.
We may know each other. We run into each other a lot during the work day. But Dennis brought it all up into one. It's the atmosphere and how it works downtown. It's such a highlight for downtown.
Yeah, really
we shut down Garrison Avenue, and we have everybody on the avenue. So you've got all the businesses. We're showcasing downtown. You have all the vendors. People are, the sidewalks are full. And what he talks about, people are having a good time. They're having fun. Even the people working it are having fun. That was the big thing with the police department. We love working the rally.
Yeah.
And if you go back, and it's actually kind of funny, if you go back and Google or look on YouTube for some of the motorcycle steel horse rally, and there's been some great videos, and it's actually highlighted some of our goofier police officers, and it's really a good time. And this brings in so many people from outside of our region. It is a tremendous sparkle in the eye of the citizens of Fort Smith. We get to show off our downtown. We get to show off our hospitality. And people come in and they ask, and where do we go for this? How do we do this? And, one of the things I remember is one of the rallies, they come up and they said, well, where's Landry's? And I said, what? And they said, well, Landry's. Everybody talks about Landry's. And I'm like, well, it was right down here and stuff like this. Or they'll come in and, they want to go to one of the bars that they've read about, or, where do we go? How do we do this? And it gives me the opportunity to show off Fort Smith.
Right.
So, have you checked out the Marshals Museum? Have you been down to the Museum of History? Because you're here downtown in Fort Smith. Why not learn about what this is about?
Yeah.
And
the energy is palpable when you're
here. Absolutely.
It's amazing to be a part of it and to see it happen. Some of the events and you can correct me if some of these aren't happening anymore, but my kids particularly like the Strongman competition. Is that happening again this year?
That's in the Glass Pavilion on A.B. Street. And yes, that was one that we started 3 years ago, I believe.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I've not been able to qualify.
Nor have I.
Yeah, they haven't asked me either.
Well, I've tried.
But the gentleman who does it actually has competed in the worldwide competition, came in 19th in the world.
Wow.
And he lives right here in Fort Smith. So we're very fortunate there, and we try to introduce new events to keep the rally fresh. Cops and Cones is 3 years. This will be the 4th year for Cops and Cones. That's another huge crowd favorite. 10 a.m. Saturday morning between 11th going towards IC. We shut down Garrison Avenue, and it's just really a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
And these police officers that come in from all over the region, they have a great time doing it. And it gives people an opportunity to interact with the police officers, in a positive way.
Right.
That's not always the case, especially in my case, but that's not true. I met him when he was booking me, but that's a whole different show. Anyway, it puts everybody's in a great mood, and it changes, everybody's attitude. And it's just so wonderful to see that. But, we're dedicated to all who serve, not just law enforcement, but military, veterans.
Right.
We were here. The only time we've ever moved the rally, it's always the first weekend in May. The General Darby Committee asked us to move it back a week so we could be there. And we could do it in coordination with the introduction of the statue downtown. So we moved it back to the last weekend of April and got hit with terrible weather. So we're never doing that again. But
that's one thing to show off for this Fort Smith area.
Absolutely.
Is how unpredictable the weather can be.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We got hit Thursday night last year, and but everybody recovered just fine, and the weather was kind of iffy around us. And that's all, that's the only component that we don't control, obviously. Right. And a lot of prayers are said for good weather, and please go ahead and ask Mother Nature to cooperate this year.
Yeah,
May 2nd.
I'll do what I can.
May 3rd, and of course it tends to be hot. I mean, it's, and it seems like it's getting hotter, but we have a lot of drink stations, and we have ambassadors that walk the streets we have medical personnel, obviously, but we take a lot of precautions, and we have such a great, just a core of volunteers, and they really are the fuel for the rally. I was talking about that earlier. Without our volunteers, the rally doesn't exist at all. And, hats off to them. Then the sponsors have stepped up financially. And because of them, like the city of Fort Smith, Choctaw Casino, because of them, these events are free. You can come down with the entire family once again, and it doesn't cost you a penny to enjoy it. Now, we encourage you to buy an official T-shirt. A portion of those proceeds go to our charities. 100% of the proceeds from the sale of our cups, we were involved and helped with the entertainment district when that passed, and we have the authorized cup. But 100% of every cup that is sold for a donation goes straight to our charities. And the 3 charities this year in the River Valley are Heavenly Babies.
Heavenly Babies.
That's an incredible new charity.
Local
and I'm going to let
charity.
Wes talk about that a little
what
bit.
is Heavenly Babies?
When we start, every year we send out for these charities, and we as a board determine what charities that we want to give for this year. And what he talked about, the donations and the purpose of the rally. Yes, we want to have fun. Yes, we want to showcase motorcycles and we want to showcase Fort Smith. But the primary goal for this is helping children and veterans. So we pick charities every year in order to make a significant donation of our proceeds to.
Nice.
We try to keep it local. We want it here in the area. We want to help out these. We are doing the Arc of the River Valley.
Mm-hmm.
We are doing
Children's Service League.
Children's Service League, and this year we are doing the Heavenly Babies.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. This charity came about because the parents lost an infant. And I don't wish that on anybody.
Yeah.
And because of the pain and because of what they went through, they wanted to help others. So they do things like arrange for, when you're dealing with the loss of a child, a loss of an infant, there are a lot of things that happen that you really don't want to think about because you're still processing that immeasurable grief.
Yeah.
This charity does that. They provide hotel rooms for families. They provide meals. They provide, counseling services. They do all of this stuff. And we as a board, we're just so proud to feature them as one of our charities this year.
That's amazing.
To help them out. I mean, chills just sitting here talking about it, is being able to help out these people that have such a worthwhile purpose in Fort Smith, to be able to help them out financially and to get the word out for what it is that they do.
Yeah.
Because that's what we want to do, is we want to help people go through this rough time. This is where we picked our charities.
Yeah.
The Children's Service League, what they do for kids, Arc of the River Valley. All of these is focused on Fort Smith and the River Valley. And if we can do just our small part, and the more people that rally, it's the bigger part. I should say that, right?
Yeah.
The more we get involved with the rally, the bigger part we can do.
Right.
But it's a privilege and an honor to be able to help these worthwhile charities in Fort Smith.
So do those charities rotate every year?
Well,
is it different?
Some.
Yeah.
So the way it happens every year in November, December, we open up and by the way, we have a new and improved webpage at thesteelhorserally.com.
Nice.
Charities simply go to our webpage during the month of November and December, and there's a very easy 1.5-page application they fill out.
Okay.
Then as a board, we sit down and discuss every single charity, keeping our mission statement in line. Like Wes said, it's veterans, children, and the betterment of Fort Smith. So, and they are local charities. We don't accept national charities. They get enough grant money, and we know that these donations that we're able to give help these newer charities like Heavenly Babies. This is still a startup charity, and whatever we can give them will genuinely help, and we know that. But they apply then, and probably one of the hardest things we do every year are choosing the charities. We'd love to give money to every single one of them, but right now it's just not possible. But the rate we're growing, we will hopefully be able to help more charities.
That's the goal, is to be able to give it to all the charities.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
That would be great.
But we do pick them eventually, but the process has to begin with the charity reaching out and saying, hey, we'd like to be a charity. And, we have some that have been around a little while, but we do try to be fair and kind of spread the wealth, if you will, through the charitable donations that we make.
Yeah.
Some of the past ones we've done, Antioch.
Oh, yeah.
For youth and family. We've done Buddy's Smith Home for Veterans.
Oh, yeah.
We try to keep it going around for the different types of charities in the town. And
the main thing is we want people that come to the rally, especially people that live here, to see their donation money at work.
Right.
We're obviously huge supporters of the Red Cross and things like that. But we want those donations to have an impact right here, and people can see the effect of their donations.
That's amazing. One of the things I love is you mentioned this earlier, the economic impact of the Steel Horse Rally. And, people are coming from all over the U.S. to come to the Steel Horse Rally, but they're not just coming here for a day. They're staying the night in hotels. They're eating at restaurants all around the city.
And they're not afraid to spend money.
Nope.
Yeah.
Especially at some of the hotels that we have on our website that you could get a free rate.
Yeah.
Or not a free rate, a reduced rate, nightly rate if you say Steel Horse Rally.
Little plug.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. They all have room blocks. And just go to thesteelhorserally.com, click on Lodging Partners. And thanks to, the Wyndham, the Courtyard by Marriott, and all the partners that we're working with that do give, you go to some of these events, beers are $20, Coke's $10. We don't do that. We're not here to try to rip people off. We want, as far as a big event like this goes, we're more than fair. And a lot of times you go into rooms and hotel rooms are doubled or tripled, and we don't do that either. We actually give a discount to people that say the Steel Horse Rally because we want to encourage people to come to our beautiful city.
Yeah. And, at the rally, you somewhat mentioned this, but there's vendors all around for people to shop at. There's food trucks. Then there's games for kids to play.
Right.
So what other, we mentioned a couple events, Cops and Cones. What other events happen as part of the Steel Horse Rally?
Oh, did you mention the antique motorcycle? This was
No, that's new. Bikes and Badges. This is one that we just started last year.
At the Marshals Museum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alice Ault, who used to be worked at the U.S. Marshals Museum back in its inception with fundraising. And we said, listen, we want to be involved with the museum because it's another great example of what Fort Smith, Arkansas can do when it puts its mind to it. So as they finish construction, we now work with Ben Johnson and said we need to be involved. And we sat down and, the board talked about it, his board talked about it, and came up with Bikes and Badges. And because of our sponsors last year, it was Fort Smith Harley-Davidson, and for the first time ever, you got into the U.S. Marshal Museum free on Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday of the rally.
Saturday,
for free.
And
that's cool.
I'm very proud. In fact, you're breaking news here. This Saturday, May the 3rd, once again, Fort Smith Harley-Davidson has stepped up, made a large donation, and everybody gets in free.
That's amazing.
Now, we did over 3,000 people through the doors last year, which is a single-day attendance record. We want to shatter that this year, so bring the family down.
If they've not seen the Marshals Museum, not only do you get to see these so
it's world class.
Yeah, I'm an amateur photographer, but I go and I love taking pictures of the bikes there. But man, the getting to see the museum too, that's just icing on the cake.
It really is.
And they have done such a wonderful job at that museum. It is incredible to go through that. I want to go back like 3 or 4 more. You got to go back more times because you're going to miss stuff, and you got to go back and see what they do. It's great.
And last year you got to vote on bikes.
Yeah,
so they're going to do that again this year.
Some of these bike shows get really complicated with classes and this and that and the other. And we don't want to do that. We want to make it fun for everybody. We do one award. It's called People's Choice. What do the people like? And and last year it was a local gentleman, Joe Armstrong, won with his 1942 military Harley-Davidson with a sidecar on it. That bike will be there again. Now, he's not eligible to win again, but there were some incredible motorcycles. And we hope, and probably what will happen with Bikes and Badges, it's going to get so big that we'll end up having to put motorcycles outside. And that's fine, but right now they're indoors in that world-class Marshals Museum.
It's amazing. And then there's also a parade.
A
bike
that's
parade,
huge.
right?
Yeah, Thunder Through the Valley Parade.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, it's kind of funny because, I see a lot of local people that I ride with, and I go, why didn't you ride in the parade? They said, we don't want to give up our parking spot in the middle of Garrison Avenue.
Parking is a premium.
So if you've not been to the Steel Horse Rally, all these bikes are lined in the middle of Garrison Avenue.
And on the sides.
It's a sight to behold.
And that's still one of the biggest draws that we have. Most people don't know Garrison Avenue is like the second widest downtown street in the United States outside Canal Street in New Orleans. And that's the name Garrison, but it is so cool. It's back coming over the Arkansas River Bridge from Oklahoma heading eastbound, seeing all those bikes lined up right down the middle and on the side. Everywhere you look, there's motorcycles. And, of course, safety is also one of our major concerns. Thanks to Fayetteville Police Department, they supplied the
barricades.
The barricades.
We want to make sure, as these events, after the tragic events in New Orleans, I think even, the city of Fort Smith is making strides in that with protecting the folks that want to come downtown. And, any type of tragedy like that, you want to find lessons learned and be able to not repeat that. And there are people in the city that are actively working to help that. And one of the things is to reach out to our partners Northwest Arkansas and Central Arkansas, and they are able to help the police department with barricades and other resources that we can put, even federal government resources that we are able to put to help with the safety of all of our visitors and friends that come to the rally.
And it feels safe.
Well, you can rest assured that every effort's being made before the rally, during the rally, and then after the rally during debriefings, because I've been to events where this wasn't the case, and chaos can erupt pretty easily.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you something. I've worked with a lot of police departments in my time. Hats off to the Fort Smith Police Department, true professionals. We have undercover officers. I mean, we take every precaution, and it's not just...
No, we don't.
I mean, literally every precaution. But, another thing, if you attend the rally and you see something, please say something.
Yeah.
Let me know, let an ambassador know, because we want to try to nip any problems that we see in the bud. But we take every possible precaution that we can, because it only takes one bad apple to spoil the whole bunch. And we don't ever want that to happen. We can see the rally continue to grow, and through the Fort Smith Police Department, Sebastian County Sheriff's Department, U.S. Army. We've got help from all over there. And it seems that some of these agencies want to come in, and some of them use them as training exercises for large crowds.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so, and back to the economic impact, that was one of the driving forces for me personally when I saw, how bleak the future looked in downtown Fort Smith. And it's changed. I mean, it's slowly turning around. But during the weekend of the rally, some of these bars, restaurants, hotels, they do more business in one weekend than they do in months. So they depend on this now, and, and support them not just during the rally, but all the time, because these local businesses really, we need them, obviously, but during the rally, they're pretty happy about the attendees that come in.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And we were talking about the parade before we went off the avenue.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah,
sorry.
that happens to me all the time.
It happens.
I definitely
Stages
do
at
that.
3,
Yeah.
kickstands up at 4, Riverfront Park.
One of the coolest things is to be up on the east side of the avenue, right in front of IC Church, and watching it. They will come out at 13th Street.
13th, yeah.
And go all the way down the avenue.
And there's usually an America.
We've got the fire department puts this
American flag, and it's draped over the avenue.
Thanks to the Fort Smith Fire Department for that. Yeah.
So they go all the way down the avenue to 5th. They come around and come all the way back up to 13th. And the lead motorcycle, when he gets all the way back up to 13th, we still have people coming onto the route.
Wow.
I'm behind the police officers, of course. And that's another cool thing. We've grown. I was looking back at, I used to do a television show, and we filmed a parade, and I was the lead vehicle, because when we started the Steel Horse Rally, there was no motorcycle unit in the Fort Smith Police Department. Now there's 5 bikes.
Yes.
We didn't have cops and cones. Now we get officers from all over, and they lead the parade. And it's me, and then Chief Danny Baker is right beside
Sheriff,
me. And then Sheriff Hobie Runyon rides just as well. I mean, up front as well. So, I'm very honored to ride up front, and hopefully physically I can do that for a couple of more years. But if you have not ridden the parade, I'm going to tell you this. I'll make you this promise. If you can keep a dry eye when you ride under the American flag, you're a bigger man than I am. I cry every single year, because it hits home as to what the rally really is all about.
Yes.
And you see the hundreds of thousands of people. And, it's so hard to estimate the crowds. I know that we've broken 100,000 easily, and I think we've broken 200,000 probably a couple of years ago. Last year we had a down Saturday, but, it's not about how many people are there. It's about the people that are there having, how much fun are they having? How many memories are they making? We want you to take memories back with you. And when you get home, tell 4 or 5 of your friends and bring them back next year to the Steel Horse Rally.
And there's live music everywhere,
Oh,
too.
yeah, everywhere.
There's a stage set up, at least one that I remember, and then all the bars and restaurants, they tend to have live music as well.
Thanks to the Fort Smith Street Department, right before the rally, 6th Street, right across from First National Bank, another one of our sponsors, they turned that into Steel Horse Alley. 6th Street becomes Steel Horse Alley.
Oh, they put up street signs.
Oh, yeah. And that's where the stage is. It'll be the same place this year. We have the Handlebar going back to the entertainment district. You can get your favorite adult beverage there. And the cup, all you have to do is be 21 years old or over and have the cup. We require you to have an armband on. We do check IDs, and you may get checked again, because we're going to err on the side of caution. We want everything to be safe, and the only way to do that is make sure everybody plays by the rules. And we don't have many rules. We really don't. 21 years old and over, drink, don't harm anybody, have a great time, and just come enjoy the Steel Horse Rally May 2nd and 3rd, 2025.
Oh, that's awesome. And a lot of people don't realize, you can take that cup. As long as you have the cup, you have the wristband, you can take it all along the avenue. And
the only thing that we ask is kind of a common courtesy. We don't encourage people to obviously walk into a bar with a full cup.
Right.
Finish the beverage before you go into the cup and then buy one from them or come back and buy one from us. But don't walk into a bar with a full drink. That's kind of a slap in the face to the bar owners. And we want everybody to be successful. But
keep the cup.
Yeah, well, the cups are.
We go and see how many of them have been thrown away at the end of the night.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Keep the cups.
The cup this year being the 10th anniversary is really. We got them in yesterday, and they're really, really special this year.
I just realized that, as you said, this is the 10th anniversary.
I can't believe we've been talking this long and not mention the fact that it's the 10th anniversary.
Technically it's 11th anniversary, but we're not going to talk about the pandemic. But because of, once again, our concern for public health and public safety, we did not have it in 2020. And all those posters and T-shirts became instant collector's items. But this technically is our 11th, but because we missed a year, this is our 10th.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the cups are usually one-sided. This year, they're two-sided. And they're designed for you to take them home. They're hard plastic cups. You can drink your favorite iced tea or your ice cold beer in the backyard barbecue. And like Wes was saying, when we go to get the trash Saturday night, there's very few cups in there because we want people to take them home and remember Fort Smith, Arkansas, and the Steel Horse Rally.
I mean, you come to my house and you eat, guess what? You're going to be drinking out of Steel Horse cup.
That's the same way.
That's what you do.
And it's only a $5 minimum donation, So it's not like, once again, we try to keep everything cost effective and fair for everybody. You can family of five's $25 for your cups, no matter what you're putting in there. You can put your iced tea in there, but you have the freedom to walk around the street once you have that cup and enjoy the rally.
He brought up something that struck me as another benefit of the rally in the city of Fort Smith. He mentioned the trash. Our wonderful volunteers come help us out. Sunday morning, you get up and you go to church, you'd never, ever know that a motorcycle rally was held the night before.
It's amazing. Last year, we were completely cleaned up by 10:04.
And I mean, they're picking up cigarette
We're blowing
butts.
the streets.
It's spotless.
That's how dedicated our volunteers are, our board of directors, our staff. I mean, we're out there at the crack of dawn Sunday morning. And it's difficult to get out there, but we want the city, number one, to be able to drive back down the street Sunday expecting a bunch of, bikers to be asleep on their bikes. And that is not the case. It is spotless. And it's ready to get back to business as usual. So we take a lot of pride in a lot of things that we do, but it's all designed to work that way. But those wheels don't turn without the help of our volunteers. And if you want to volunteer, we've got a volunteer meeting coming up.
Oh, nice.
I don't have the date in front of me, but it's going to be at the Wyndham Hotel. Just go to the new webpage, thesteelhorserally.com. All the information you need for everything we just talked about for the 10th anniversary is at thesteelhorserally.com.
Well, I just want to thank you both for being a part of today's episode.
Thanks for having us.
And I'm excited for the Steel Horse Rally, not just this year, but for the years to come, and seeing it grow and expand and have even more economic impact and really impact on these charities that you guys are giving to as well. So thank you so much for what you do for our community.
And thank you for having us.
You bet.